it's a job for
Hmm.
forever. Yeah, you are a worker of the state, and you can be a teacher forever, no matter how good or how bad you are. that's that's crazy. Like when you get
Okay.
when you get the thing,
I think it's
you
called
are there
tenure.
forever. Yes, I don't know the word in English. But yeah, it's forever. It's a job forever.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing how in universities here in North America, when a professor in a university, so doing like higher education, when they get tenure, that's like they basically can't be fired. There's nothing that they can do. There's nothing that they can say.
I
So
mean,
the whole job is to like to get to that level. You do everything you can to get to that point, and then you're home free.
yeah, yeah, it's the same. It's horrible. For me, that's horrible.
Uh, yeah, it is. It is what it is. But in any case, so we're live. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you. Is it Sanka? Is that how you go by?
Yes, my name is Angel, but I always I accept Sanka right now.
Perfect. Yeah, Sanka. Thank you for making the time today. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. I saw your other interviews and conversations with some friends in the space, and you know it's really hard to trust anyone in the space because
Mm-hmm.
people
Mm-hmm.
approach you all the time through the DMs and everything. But seeing familiar faces, in the interviews, made me completely, like, yeah. I mean, like, if this guy is here, I will be too.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right. We've had a similar response from other people. I've even had an interviewer cancel before because they didn't want to click any links, and I totally get it. I totally understandable, but that's why I always send them like all these other interviews that we've done to show them like, hey, we're legit. We're not scammers. We just want to sit down and talk. That's about it. But the other interviews is are you talking about El Kirza? Is that the other interview that you saw?
No, I saw Masier.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the name. He's really really cool. I saw Iena, the Iena art also.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he's the Croatian animator,
Oh
I
yes,
think.
yes, yep.
I don't want to I don't want to mess it, but yeah, a lot of familiar faces that I know from the space, and yeah, yeah. Thank you for having me
Of course.
alongside these legends. Like
No, no, that's awesome. No, I only mentioned Alcirces because he's also Spanish based. I think he's in Barcelona himself right now. Where are you located, if you don't mind me asking?
in Canary Islands.
Oh, okay, Canary Islands. Gotcha.
Yes,
Good weather there these days.
too hot because we don't have
Air
any type of
conditioning.
AC.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard that's a problem in
I
Europe.
have
Yeah.
I have a fan here, but it's really not a problem because it's like a few days, in the whole year,
Mm.
because the rest of the year is like 2024, But yeah, in August, it's been like really, really bad.
Yeah, it's been hitting 40 degrees here on occasion in Canada, and you wouldn't expect it, but yeah,
Oh
it,
my
it,
God.
it can actually get quite hot here. But the funniest thing, we had like the coldest May in like 50 years. It was dipping to like 5 degrees, 8 degrees. It was really strange, but in any case. So before we started the stream, we were talking about you pursuing this teaching degree. So you're looking to become an arts teacher, a design teacher, you said?
Yeah, I would love to have that as my main income, in the future, because I like working for other people and make commissions and work for companies or whatever. But it's kind of hard, to get the type of commissions I really enjoy. So it's I'm in a tough position that I think we will be dissecting in the interview, but I don't find myself um, in any category. Like I don't feel like I'm a 3D artist or an animator or an illustrator. I think I'm a bit of everything and nothing at all. So it's really hard to to get a stable job or a stable quantity of commissions that can fit my 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 style or my type of work.
Hmm. And so when you chose this path, is it just because like you were inspired from the art teachers that you had, so you wanted to pass that on to the next generation, or?
No, I started doing especially 3D in my last year of university, not because of the teachers, because the teachers were really bad. When I tried to go a bit, a bit hard on 3D, the teachers told me that they couldn't help me, for my master, for my thesis, for my last big work for the university.
Hmm.
The 3D teacher said to me like, "Hey, I don't know how to make any of what you are asking for. So you are on your own, Like there was one teacher that I had a 4 hour tutorial conversation about doing things that he helped me a lot. But beside that, I had to work on my own to watch 200, I think, or more than that, tutorials to understand the medium, to get to a point where I was comfortable in the program, which is Blender. And I started doing 3D stuff because of the people that I saw online. People like Lisa Odette, Sigor, which is one of the biggest Spanish 3D artists. I saw all of them, and I saw the beginning of the NFT world and everything, and I went all in into 3D. I consider myself an illustrator because I love children books, I love children illustration, I love comic books. So before being a 3D artist, I think I'm an illustrator in my insights,
In your heart, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, that doesn't surprise me about the 3D art that your teachers just weren't able to help you, because it's a fairly new medium. I mean, we've had 3D animation for years now, since like even before the 2000s, but in terms of having it set into an actual like classroom setting where there's a whole like curriculum, and they tell you like, okay, you have to learn Blender, then you have to learn After Effects, you have to learn like, such and such and such. It doesn't seem like that's kind of caught up with it, so a lot of people are left to kind of freelance like yourself.
And especially here, the curriculum in Spain, if the subject is a bit technical, like Blender, they will hire an informatic, an engineer,
Hmm.
someone like that to make the curriculum. Like to teach designers, you have a guy with a degree in engineer that has never created a beautiful image in his whole life, teaching you a new medium and a new tool, and it makes no sense. But the thing is, the system, especially the education system, is like black or white. Oh, this is a technical program. Okay, we will hire an architect to teach this.
Hmm.
It's like it makes no sense. You are teaching designers, you are teaching creatives. Like they need to learn certain types of tools inside Blender to make beautiful stuff, not
Hmm.
to make mathematical accurate buildings and polygons and mathematical thing. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
what the
yeah.
fuck are you talking? Like, I don't need all of that. I just need how to put colors, how to use the composition
Hmm.
knowledge that I have, the color palette knowledge that I have into this. So it was impossible to find that type of help during my studies and during my learn. So I had to work on my own. I had to suffer a lot also. Like it was a painful process, I think. But I think also that through pain, uh, we get to places that are really interesting in terms of creativity and yeah, and results.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it from their perspective. They're just like, well, okay, who has these credentials? Who has worked with this
Yeah,
software before? And in the
yeah.
professional world, like, yeah, you're gonna get architects, you're gonna get product designers, you're gonna get all these people that have to follow a very, very specific rule set. But for a creative, it's like, well, that's actually the opposite of what I need. Like, I need to know how to like create these interesting visual elements that have a lot of color and weird shapes and things that have never been made before. Whereas they're just so used to making like what's already been made. They follow this rubric. They have all these rules. And yeah, no, I can see why that could get frustrating.
And the way of interacting with the program is so important, and it's so important to get it right in the first try, because if you try something hard for the first time and you suffer and you never achieve anything, you will never touch that tool again. You know,
Hmm.
you will associate that time with pain and disgusting. I remember I don't know if I uploaded recently, but I always share my first 3D thing. That was a hair dryer that we had to build in Blender, and it was so so painfully awful, you know. And the result, because if something is painful and you suffer a bit, but the result is great, you will be so, you know, so proud of
Relieved.
yourself,
Yeah.
so relieved. Yeah, yeah. But that was like 2 weeks of work, and it looks it looks horrible. You know, it's like nobody will like that ever. You know, it's like a
Hmm.
horrible render. But it was because this is what we have to do, and it's so wrong. Like right now, I think I could teach people, you know, how to start Blender and do something beautiful, like in the first 2 hours. You don't have to suffer for 2 weeks on something, you know. Like
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's
I,
I
I'm
totally understand that. Yeah.
I'm super opposite. And you will you can tell with my work and with myself that I'm a bit messy. You know, I don't like order. I don't like technical stuff. Even though I go deep into technical things, I just enjoy like cool stuff, and I want to do cool stuff. So that's why it's hard for me to find, you know, like a clear path. I can do product design, I can do product animation or whatever, but that doesn't fulfill me. So I'm always playing with the medium.
I see, yeah. And so I also noticed that you've done some 3D printing here as well with some of the models that you've made. Because I'd imagine it's not really that much of a jump to like go from Blender to just importing it to a 3D printer program and like the slicer or what have you. Is that also something that you're pursuing, or is it just more of like, let me see if I can bring my design to life?
It's something that I would love. I would love to make more and to, you know, be more active with it, because it's super interesting. Like I did this in an afternoon. Like
Oh, nice.
uh, it was it was like 10 minutes of modeling,
Hmm.
and then I send it to the program, and then you have it. Like it's so instant and so rewarding
Oh, yeah.
that it's my kind of thing. You have to be precise, and you have to get a bit technical with it, because you have to touch a lot of parameters to get it
Hmm.
right, and you have to try and spend time and money also on it. But I really like 3D printing. It's super interesting.
Yeah, I'm a big fan too. Actually, I just printed this last night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the boat, the
Yeah, the boat,
classic.
the classic boat, yeah. I was having some issues with like my printer because there's a lot of different like humidity and temperature issues where I live.
Yes.
So I had to get like an enclosure for it, and now it prints beautifully. So I'm looking forward to finally like testing it. I was just working on like some temperature towers the other day, like just trying to see what filament would be best at what temperature. But no, it's a lot of fun. It's a great hobby. I highly recommend that everyone get into it because it's just it allows you to just bring these ideas to life that you would not otherwise be able to do in such a specific way. Like, besides paying someone else to do it for you, like, where else in the world can you go to get these specific items?
Nice. it's so, and it's for me. I always say the same thing, but for me, it's like animation. It feel the same way. Like when you make something and you see that thing moving, that's like black magic. Like every
Hmm.
time, even though I've been doing it, for 4 years or whatever. Like every time is something really really special. And with 3D printing, is just another type of magic. Like when you touch things that you have model. In my personal style, I model in VR.
Mm.
So I modeled like 10 times, 10 minutes ago, in the space, floating in the space, and now I can touch it, and I can feel, all the imperfections and all the thing that VR modeling makes on the models.
Hmm. All the
It's
details, yeah.
it's so interesting, it's so fun. You can, yes, I've been testing like different types of filaments, like transparent. Have this one here for another phone case,
Oh wow.
like a metal one, and it's it's really cool. It's like another type of magic, but super special. Like touching your own work, in the physical space. It's crazy.
And so when you say you're modeling in VR, do you mean that like you're running Blender in VR when you're doing the modeling, or?
No, I use you can use VR inside of Blender, because they have created a branch of Blender that use VR. But everything I do, I model it in Substance Modeler, which is a program from Adobe that Adobe is already killing, but it's, it's whatever. It's a really cool program, but it's an evolution of Adobe Medium, which was a program made by Oculus, I think, or a small company aligned with Oculus, and then they sold the the program to Adobe, and that's Substance Modeler. That's for applying materials and everything.
Mm.
You can do all of that in Blender too, but it's called Adobe Modeler, and that's it. It's just like a playground to model stuff with VR, which for me is my only is the only medium I found that I can translate properly my 2D style into 3D. So it's a really cool program that, like I was saying, Adobe is slowly killing it because they don't find it profitable, I think. So they have fired a lot of the main team, and they are just rolling basic updates. So
I mean, the program will stick around, so you'll like people will still be able to use it. It's not like they're gonna like, are they gonna remove it from their
I
website?
I hope so, but knowing Adobe, like they don't care at all about preservation, or like a company that works every day on a program. Like they don't care. They have to discontinue it because it's not profitable. They
Hmm.
will do it uh, without doubt. Without doubt.
That's very strange.
It's
I mean,
crazy.
at the same time, though, once Adobe shuts down, I think that's only gonna make it so that people are like, okay, well, fine, shut it down. We'll make our own. There's all the project files and everything is out there. We can make an open source version of this. I mean, that's one of the beautiful things about 3D printing is how much software and tools and everything about the hobby is open source, and how many people are involved in maintaining
Yep.
all of this, that like the community is always willing to put time into making something of their own. So yeah, like it would suck if Adobe shut it down and removed it, but I think that somebody else would find the time to make their own copy of it.
I hope so, but until this day, uh, because we have other. I have I have been trying ShapeLab VR, which is another one that is in Steam, and there is like one other program, because this is a specific type of program. This is not a you don't work with primal forms. You don't work with moving. I don't know how to say points in the geometry.
Hmm.
Everything is voxel made. So the technology behind it, I've only seen Medium and Modeler make it right, because the other programs are not the same. Like
Hmm.
they have tried, but it's not the same feeling, because here you are modeling with voxels. You can extract. You can. It's like like foam. It's a different feeling of creating the stuff. So I I really hope that they don't shut it down, and they will never release the the code. That's for sure, because if they don't see, like, they are really really bad. I'm sorry, I'm not getting an Adobe collabo soon, but they treat creatives really really bad.
Oh no, I'm familiar. Yeah, they famously had that scandal like a couple months back when somebody went viral on Twitter because
Yeah,
they started charging people for cancellation fees, and it's like, okay, I understand you have a terms of service that nobody ever reads, but in it,
yeah,
they snuck this this clause that says, oh, if you ever cancel your subscription, you have to pay for this, um, which I mean, I don't know, it's kind of weird how the whole idea of like being an artist is that you start out with not a lot of money unless you come from a rich family. The hobby isn't exactly known to make millionaires out of people. There's only very select few. It's kind of like, NBA and NFL, like 0.00001% of artists will ever, be able to be famous. Like the guy that made the Facebook mural way back in the early 2000s, and when they paid him, they gave him Facebook stock, and now he's like one of the more famous artists in the world. I forget his name, um, but there's very few people that are like that. Most people are, they live with their parents well into their 20s or maybe even 30s, and or living with friends in basements and just trying to make ends meet using whatever money they have on food instead on materials, and they know that that's like where a lot of creatives start, and yet they'll gladly charge you $200 a month, $300 a month for like whatever subscription. You know, I I don't know if it's like okay as like a company policy for us to promote pirating, but I'm not surprised that a lot of people are like, okay, well, screw it. I'm just gonna like rip your stuff from a torrent website and use it for free instead, and use other alternatives because this is just, I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, why would you, as a company, if you're for the creative community, but your business is completely against it?
yeah, yeah. It's horrible. That's one of the reasons that I went full into Blender. I did a master degree also in 3D and video production, and yeah, I went to the class, and the teacher teaches cinema, and it was like really, like, if you wanted to do the same in your house, you have to pay for cinema, you have to pay for the render engine, you
Hmm.
have to pay for, at the end it was like $120 a month or something like that. And it's like, yeah, you can do the same or even better in Blender already. Like, it was a point where Blender and cinema weren't that away, because blender Blender was known for being not too good for certain things back in the past, but recently, like, there is no reason to use than other program than rather than Blender.
Hmm. And so, do you find that modeling in VR, it's a lot easier than when you're working on desktop? Like, it just allows you to get like closer to the piece, or well, why is it that you use it particularly?
It's simple. You're using your hands for creating in VR. you are not using a shortcut, a mouse, a keyboard. Uh, you are not thinking about how many polygons are you making it. You have to lower the capacity. You are playing. You are creating with a. People always see my videos and say like, "Oh my God, you are so talented. You are so skilled." And it's like I always say the same thing. If I put the headset uh, on your grandma and I ask her for a dog, your grandma will make a dog in 5 minutes. Like it's not complicated. It's super easy, super natural
Hmm.
of working on. It's the next step. I would say that it will be like hands with gloves with buttons or something
Oh
like
yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
where you can touch directly, with friction and support, and then you can touch buttons to change stuff or whatever. But working with your hands will always be way better than using a mouse for whatever reason. No, you are not being super technical. You're not being super specific. You're okay, but it's for me, for myself, for the work I want to make, it's perfect. It's a perfect workflow.
And what kind of what kind of a setup do you have for your VR kit? Do you use the one that Steam made, or like do you have a preference?
So I have this one, which is not perfect. I have a lot of signs for and drawings from my friends that I got in last year when I went to Singapore, and it was really really cool. I I went with the headset, running around and
Hmm.
asking everyone to sign it. But this is the old one. This is the Quest 2, and I just use it connected to the PC, and then you're good to go. You don't need sensors. You don't need a huge space. I do it sitting down. I don't stand up for it. Like
Oh, you don't
it's
need to
really
like set
chill.
up your room in any way or anything.
No, no, no. And in summer, I don't use it in the summer because it's really really hot. Like that's you can buy the new one, the 3 one for a bit more of a bit more expensive, but it will be way better than the Meta Quest 2.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like too expensive. I mean, even for like the old one, it's only $300. Like that's actually
I,
that's very accessible. I assumed that like VR was still like costing like thousands and thousands of dollars.
no, no, no.
Wow, that's very cool. Yeah, because I'm looking to get into 3D modeling, and I already have a basic 3D printer, and I didn't realize that it would be much easier to do the modeling in VR because, as you said, you're working with your hands. It's a lot more intuitive.
The workflow is a bit uh, complicated to get it right at the beginning, because when you export something, if you are just only using it for printing, for example, you will be fine.
Hmm.
If you want to move to Blender and texture stuff and animate things, you have to be more, uh, more careful on
More
how you
precise.
export stuff. Yeah, more precise. Not so not crazy, but you have to be more precise. But if you're using it only for printing, you can you can play with it really really fast, and don't worry about technical things, because the printer is gonna print it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I'd imagine like for animation, I guess it would be easier to first create the model in VR, or at least just like a rough sketch of it, and then like touch it up with whatever textures and surfaces you want to use in Blender on your desktop, and then animate from desktop as well. But getting like the initial
Yes,
model building in VR would be easier.
exactly. That's what I do all the time. uh, and I always retouch stuff later in Blender, because when you have an idea and you model things, I try to be as free as possible when I model, and I change a lot of stuff from the original idea when I'm modeling, because 2D things sometimes can't work in 3D.
Hmm.
But in VR, it's super interesting because you have direct feedback of everything. You can put the model here and this model move it here and make it bigger, move it around the model, and put your head like you are the camera, like you are the final camera, so you can see where everything is coming along, So it's just it's such a grateful medium, to use because uh, it doesn't require a lot of initial knowledge to start, and then everything is really satisfactory. Like everything works really well.
I
And
see.
I don't see, I don't, I think the whole VR world is a bit going down, because people don't seem to like it that much. They don't consume a lot of things in VR or AR. So it's it's interesting on how to make it more approachable to people, more usable, more. I don't know what needs to happen because we haven't had this thing. I think Half-Life Alyx, for example, the game from Valve,
Oh yeah, yeah.
which is from the Half-Life saga. Uh, I think that game is like like the Pixar moment in animation, where they reach it with Toy Story. They reach a point of, okay, this is insane.
Hmm.
We we have made the whole film in a computer, So I think Half-Life Alyx would be the point for VR games, and we haven't reached that that level ever again. Like that was Half-Life Alyx and nothing else. So the thing is that companies have to put a lot of money, resources, and people's work into something that will never pays off because people don't consume VR things. So
Hmm.
we don't get better VR headsets, for example. Like for me, this headset is horrible, but the new one, the 3 one, is not perfect. It's less horrible, and I need a headset, a light headset to. I don't need a battery, for example. I could be connected to the PC all the time. Like I don't need to do VR in my bed or
Hmm.
I can't because I have to be connected to the PC to create. So we need more variants. We need more stuff, but consumers don't get into the medium, even though they have options. So I don't know where is it going. Yeah, it's really bad, but I don't know how how the companies could make it work.
Yeah, make it more accessible. No, I've been hearing that too. That like there was a moment where people, I mean, like with any new technology, the moment that it comes on the market, everyone is super excited about the possible implications of it and the future of it and what it could do. But it never really like took off. I mean, most of the stuff that I see in VR these days, like the kind of content that people are making, it's just going to these chat rooms with some crazy models and people are like making jokes or making clips and whatnot, but there's not a lot of attention or any kind of sustained hype for the VR world. Like you said, it's just there's something about it that doesn't seem that accessible to people. Because yeah, like I've always had the perception, especially with the way that Valve has their VR setup, is that you got to have these cameras in your room, you got to have this whole setup, and not only that, but your PC has to be powerful enough. You got to have a really good graphics card. You got to have a good processor. You got to have a good RAM. You got to have all these different components that it's just like, well, why would I do that? I could just buy a PlayStation and plug it in and plug it into my TV, and then I'm good. I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, I think it's gonna take a couple of years. Probably in the next like 10 years, it's gonna get a lot more crazy with the VR implications. Just because, as you said, like it'll make a lot of things easier, like 3D modeling for one. It's like AI is really good at generating like images and videos and music, like things that are 2D, but in the 3D space, there's still a lot of exploration to be done there. So there's a lot of people that can still make a career doing it like manually. I don't know if AI is gonna be able to do that as well as people.
Now it's already making like the Tencent model. There is a yeah, I've tried and it's like I said, I don't care about it because I do my own stuff. I use AI for creating 2D images, but
Hmm.
using my own model. Like I trained a model with my work, so I ask for more of my work. You know,
Hmm.
I'm not using anyone's work, but I've used AI with 3D, and it's it's going really crazy. Like super powerful, really intelligent ways of using it. You know, like to make the geometry better, to reduce the geometry, to yeah, apply textures, apply materials. It's coming really good because that's why I never, for example, when you model something in VR, you can lower the geometry exporting it,
Hmm.
so you can get you get less polygons on the
Hmm.
surface, so you can play with it later, like texturing, animating it better in the program because you have less geometry, you know.
Hmm.
Uh, but in the industry, people that professionally do 3D, they model with a million polygons, and then they do the retopology, which is uh, remaking the model using less polygons. It's like you do a sketch and then you do the final drawing, you know, with
Hmm.
paint and everything. It's the same in 3D, but it's so for me it's something that I see and I go like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And those kind of jobs, you know, the technical jobs, AI will completely destroy that because it's one guy doing it versus a machine. Period. Like it's not about having a good idea or having a good story or making something fun or cool or whatever. No, it's just remaking your model with less polygon. When you think about it, like I wouldn't mind an AI or a machine doing that for me. You know, like I'm not gonna do it. If I can, I will never do it. I want to die without doing retopology. Like it's something that I don't like at all, and I don't want to do it. So if an AI comes in and it can do that, for me it's perfect. The problem is when it can generate complete models from scratch really fast, really interesting from images. You can give a 2D image to this thing. I don't remember the name. It's Hayong or it's a Chinese model that they are developing, and it's really powerful. Like it's crazy. You can have something perfectly for using it in 2 minutes.
Yeah, it'll get there one day for sure. Like it's really only a matter of time.
Yeah,
Interesting. Okay.
I don't I don't get the rush on killing creative jobs. Like if I was developing an AI for for whatever, I wouldn't be interested in in killing the job of a guy doing retopology or texturing or it's like why do we need for the technical boring stuff we need, but for the creative part I don't get why someone would spend millions and millions and millions of dollars developing something to quit creatives. Like you can do that for researching illnesses, cancer, to transport things in a large scale. I don't know, spatial exploration, like really interesting stuff to use AI for, but they use it to make a film, to make a series.
Mm.
It's really dark and really yeah.
Yeah, I think it's probably just because they're responding to the market and where the demand is. I mean, that's I don't know how much money is in all those other industries that you mentioned, but in like the movie making industry or in all of these studios that pay millions to animators and designers, they would much rather have that automated first. And also it allows you to like have a an example, like a visual demo that you can show. You know, like showing how a new cancer drug is made is not really sexy, but showing how you can make an explosion or some beautiful scenery or what have you, it's a lot more visually striking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I suppose. I don't know. I don't know why the. It's not about the. It's about the rush. I've never seen anything in my life like the image generation. It's like the rush to the goal.
Hmm.
In the Wild West. Like everyone was going there. Rushing to find gold. It's the same. It's like, and I don't know because we haven't had the turning point also like the Toy Story point of
Hmm.
I don't know, Sony dropping a full album on AI music or a full feature film, completely made in AI. I don't know when it's gonna happen, if it's gonna happen, because sometimes there are a lot of promises and a lot of good results, but you don't see that apply to a medium. Uh, I've seen people doing really cool stuff already in, in entertainment and marketing and everything, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't like the the way of doing things replacing creatives, but I'm a bit eager to see what will we come next. What will come in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, and I'd imagine that a lot of these companies they want to set the standard. Like they want to be the company for everyone to go to. And the moment that you have buy-in from one of these big studios like Sony, then I was like, okay, now we have so much more capital that we can pump into research and development and create the next big model, and then that allows them to get another company and another person and and then it just keeps snowballing. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's just a matter of time before, like you said, like one of these studios comes out with a full feature film that is like partially AI or fully AI. A lot of like the celebrities and movie stars that we've grown up with, like now they're on their way out. Like Bruce Willis has signed off on his image like completely. He did like 3D scans as well for like his face, his voice, everything because he has a condition where it makes it hard for him to speak and he can't move. So as more and more of those celebrities die, we're probably gonna see some studios like buying those the rights to their voice or whatever, so that they can use them in a movie. I mean, famously there was that one scene where Carrie Fisher in Star
Yeah, in Star
Wars.
Wars. Yeah, I remember. I
Um,
remember.
let's see if we can find. There was that one scene. Trying to remember which one that was. It was one of the new Star Wars. I never ended up seeing it. I was so disappointed by the last three movies that
Uh,
I was just like, man, I'm done. I can't. I can't. But yeah, we'll probably see more of that. Like more like movies made with their likenesses and their personalities and all that.
yeah, it will be crazy. It's Black Mirror as fuck, like having dead people still acting, and uh, making something that isn't about them, like it's a regular character. The person is dead. It will be really, yeah. I don't know how, if people will get used to it, like, oh yeah, let's go to see the last Humphrey Bogart film. It will be crazy.
Yeah, I think people will transition to it fairly easily. I mean, like eventually you're gonna have like alarm clock apps on your phone where you can have the voice of like Jackie Chan or whoever wake you up or be your therapist or tell you directions on Google Maps or like any of these things. But it's just I don't know. I think it's like a cheap way of using like AI. Like I remember when X or Twitter, when they came out with those different models for Grok that you could actually talk to. A lot of people were had mixed reactions to it. Um, I don't know. I don't think I would ever see myself using it as a like a companion. Like people make that joke of like that you can use AI like in the movie Her as like some kind of a, I don't know, partner in your life. But at the end of the day, the moment that you start thinking like that, you're already lost because there's no telling like does that AI have in its code an understanding of the psychological makeup of your brain? Does it know how to say certain things and speak certain ways that like will control you to a certain extent? Like when people say like using AI for therapy, that's what that's what scares me because it's like you're letting some piece of code mess with like the most inner, most sensitive parts of your personality and your brain. Like that to me, like I'm more worried about that than like, oh, well, Bruce Willis gets to do like another movie. Like, okay, whatever. They
Yeah,
they they would have made it in 3D if they could have.
I think is a there is a turning point uh, that you feel if you have talked with different AIs. You know that after a couple of minutes you are into it. You
Mm,
are already, if the AI is fast and sharp, can make jokes or laugh or whatever.
mm,
You It's really easy to mess with your head. It happened the same with VR. People say like, oh, the people that are scared of the altitudes or whatever, like people, you see all the videos of people using AI that fall off and whatever.
mm,
When you use VR, it's you see how basic and how dumb we are as a machine. When you put something in front of our eyes, we know it's a machine, it's a computer or whatever, but you feel things in your stomach, you feel things in your head,
mm,
like because it's super easy to mess with your inner thing, and that's what VR uses all the time. And I think AIs, when they speak to you, they can do it super easy, and they if they know how to, because we are not that complex. Even if you use it for therapy or
mm,
uh, if the AI start making your problems disappear or making your life easier or happier, you will fall right into it.
mm,
Like
mm,
it will be worse than her. Like her will be the a normal person interacting with the tool. There will be cases that we are seeing now, like people engaging with getting engaged with AIs,
yep, yep.
and then they change the model and they lose the memory of being engaged with them, and it's like you are losing a loved one. Like someone has died in your life. So that can go so wrong and to really really dark places, of AIs doing product placement while they tell you something about yourself,
Mm,
like you are sad today, but you could go to the Palm Beach resort and have a nice weekend, and
mm,
enjoy your time. It can go to really really bad places and disgusting places. So yeah, but I think it's a bit it's a bit inevitable. But on the other side, uh, I don't think we. Well, I don't know. I think we can fall for it really fast, everyone. And in the other hand, I think people would be mature enough to to work with it, but in a non no invasive way.
mm.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was my initial fear when VR came out, and I realized like, oh, okay, well, it may not be a huge chunk of the population, but there's going to be a certain amount of people that are either like disabled or they just live indoors all the time, they're antisocial, that are now going to make it VR like their actual world where they interact with more than anything else. And when you have Uber Eats, when you can hire a maid, when you can get all these services and things done for you that normally, people would do themselves, then it's like, okay, well, what reason do I have to leave my house anymore if I can be in Barcelona and drop myself in Google Maps or wherever and just feel like I'm actually there? You start substituting the real world for the digital, and I think there's always going to be people that are like that. There's always going to be a percentage of people that are into it. I don't know if it's going to grow into a critical percentage of the population, like half the people or anything like that. I don't think that would be possible. Not possible, but I hope that doesn't happen. Um, but as you said, I think there's going to be enough people that are going to kind of reject that the virtualization of everything and just not want to be involved in it. I mean, especially with like if Adobe's model, right, of like getting generating profits and all that and how all these other companies engage in business, if that is also translated to VR and AI world, there's going to be plenty of people that are just frustrated with that and that don't want to participate. Like, okay, why would I bother paying for the subscription? Why would I bother doing this? Why would I bother doing that? I'm just going to go make my own thing. Or maybe I'm just going to go outside.
Yep. Yeah, I've seen also like a movement in the space, for example, in the NFT space of making physical work. That's why I was also so into 3D printing,
Hmm.
because I was a bit burned out of making digital art, which I love and I will always do because it's the perfect medium for me. But going a bit away and waiting for the machine to prepare the thing, and you can sand the model and
Hmm.
you can prepare for the piece I did for Florence for the exhibition. I have a test here. Let me share.
Is it this one here?
Yes, yes. I made a physical one with a carpenter friend of mine, and that this is the render. This is not the
Hmm.
physical, but the physical we made it in 3D printing, and then he created a base for the whole totem, with some inscriptions, the name, and then we sent the piece to the collector of the digital piece, and it was really really cool to do the whole thing with my friend. It was, and we spent like 2 days in his studio working on it, and it was super super fun. I had a lot of fun, being outside of the cave of the PC and all.
Hmm.
It was really nice.
So when you guys made this, is this also a 3D print, like the white part here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks so cool. It looks like marble, like white marble or something like that. But it's plastic. It's just simple plastic. But the whole thing was super super fun. I did a smaller one for the exhibition, so people could see it there. It was really really cool.
Yeah, no, that's wicked. And yeah, I think it's only a matter of time before people like in your situation start taking their digital works and making them physical, because like 3D printers only not even 10 years ago they were costing like upwards of thousands of dollars, and now you can go on Facebook Marketplace. Like I got my printer for
Yeah.
maybe like $200. It's a shitty like Ender 3 model, from Shenzhen, but it does the job. You know, it's good enough to like make rough sketches of stuff, but with these new printers, I mean, the way that they're making them and the multi-filament printers that are all enclosed and everything, it's becoming easier and easier and easier for people to make stuff. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if in the future, you know, if by the time that I'm 60, 70, that uh everybody, not everybody, but like a lot of people will start having these in their homes, and they're going to be able to print with more than just plastic. That eventually the technology will be so good that you can print with metal or just any like other hard materials. I know there's some industrial printers that are working like that right now with metal materials, but I think eventually it's going to become a lot easier to the point where not having a 3D printer is going to be like not having the internet.
Yeah, yeah, like a washing machine,
Hmm, hmm.
like something that everyone has it in their house. Yeah, yeah, I feel the same. It's I have a bamboo lab, which is it's insane how easy, how dumb, it works. Like you have to be precise if you do
Hmm.
custom stuff. But for things that people have made, like people uh, that know how to make technical things, it's really freaking cool. Like I did all the phone cases that I have done. I used someone else's base, for my mobile, for my phone.
Hmm.
So I just model on top of that thing because I don't even know how to set up, the measures of a phone case in
Hmm.
the machine. So I try to do these little tricks to yeah, to be as accurate as possible. But even with that, sometimes things don't fit. For, making stuff, for making it is perfect. But if you need something to go into other thing, that will take you more time to get it right. Like to make it properly. And I don't even know how to make things that perfect.
Yeah, it's definitely a skill that takes some time to harness. Like my main issue, I was just having like so many misprints, so many fails. I mean, I have two boxes here that are filled up with just like awful
Yeah,
prints,
the,
and they're
the
just
poop.
waiting to get recycled because like halfway through, like I was printing one of the boats, and it I don't know if the camera's even, oh, it's too pixelated, it's not gonna pick it up, but yeah, there's just a lot of issues when it came to the filament. But once you get it right, once you have like the settings, it's like, okay, well, now we're ready. And there's so many resources that people can use to find existing models and to change them, um, that it's like, I don't know, it opens up a whole new world for you. It allows you to change your environment in ways that you weren't able to before. Like now I don't have to buy that thing on Amazon. I don't have to go to IKEA. I don't have to go to anybody else. If I just take some time to make it myself, well, then I can just have this, whatever solution, whatever you have in your home, whatever you have in your personal life that you want to make. And then also for art, when you have that intersection between this and VR, it opens up a whole new world for you.
Yep,
Yeah. No, I'm excited to
it's
see
really
where it
cool.
goes. I'm excited to see where it goes. I think I'm like eventually I would like to have a resin printer, but like you need a lot more equipment for it, and like with air ventilation, especially with working with those chemicals, like there's a lot of things to take into consideration. Like I didn't realize I needed an air filter for mine, but then I did some reading on like how the chemicals will actually like go into the air, and I realized, oh, okay, I should should probably look out for my health. I can't just have this sitting beside me all the time.
Yeah, I mean with this type of printers, it depends a lot on the type of filament that you use. But
Hmm.
normally, it's not that bad. Like with a window open and everything. Everything has to be ventilated because if it's enclosure is really bad for yourself. But yeah, resin is another thing completely. Like resin can really really be bad for your health. Like
Hmm.
like it can go inside your skin and everything. Like it can get really really bad.
Oh yeah.
So at one point I decided I don't have a proper place. I have mine in the living room, you know, in my family house. So it's not the perfect place to have it, but the resin one was impossible to set up, and the results are not that different with the filament one if you apply the correct numbers. You know, like
Hmm.
more time, more hotness, you know, to the hot end and
Hmm.
everything. You can do. I don't have right now the model any model here. I have this one. It's really really small,
Oh yeah.
and it has a face. You know, you can go really really deep. And I did a small like a keychain. You know, because I started um, doing this type of unions,
Hmm.
and I modeled that union in VR, and it prints out like this. You know,
Oh wow.
I don't have to connect anything. When you model it, you model it like this,
Hmm.
leaving a space in between them, and then it print that. Like it's crazy. Like it it's that kind of thing that you start learning when you start printing. You know, when you see other people's stuff, and yeah, just like that, you can have a lot of keychains or things. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really interesting.
that's the other bottleneck that I've heard with 3D printers is that some people are finding that like besides just making like cool gadgets or like cool like little artistic things, like how can I actually use this in my everyday life? Same kind of thing with like VR. It's like how do I actually implement this so that I can use it for my own purposes? And it's probably just because like there's no I don't think there's an app right now where you can like let's say take a picture of like something that's broken, like a planter for a plant. Like I have a cactus here. Like if there was like a little piece that was broken off, I can't just take my phone, scan it, and then have it automatically make like the perfect fix for it. So now I don't have to worry about leaks or water or anything like that. But I think it's only a matter of time before we have something like that where you're able to take a photo of something that's broken in your house. Be like, okay, well, I have this printer, I have this filament, I need to fix this. How do I go about it? What is the best way to do it? And then have it actually like create a 3D model for you using AI or whatever, so that you can actually fix that thing. I think once something like that gets created, then it's going to become a lot more popular and easy to use. Because right now, like we have those, you can do that. It just takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of skills that you have to learn. But once it's actually like automatic like that, I think that's when like 3D printers are going to become a major tool. It's just right now, it's a lot of people that treat it as a hobby. You have to be like very
Yeah,
technical with it. But like realistically, if I go on like let's see, if I go on what was it? I think it's Thingiverse, one of the main websites. Like a lot of the stuff that you'll see posted is like stuff like this. It's like okay, like that's cute, like cool. I get to have this bird on my desk, like, but what is the purpose of it? What is the utility? What is the like? I have a
yeah,
figurine. I can make anime figurines now. Okay, okay, cool. But like, what to the mom with 3 kids? What does that mean? It means nothing, you know.
yeah. I think there is a lot of room for improvement in the 3D printing world. Like before having my own stuff, I was seeing in Maker's Place, you know, all these places. They tend to do a lot of useful things,
Hmm.
you know, but a lot of ugly things also, like things that you know it's like okay, it works, but you know the colors, the filament, I don't know what it is, but
Hmm.
everything looks bad. Like I if I have a taste, you know, I wouldn't be interested in in 3D printing. It's like
Hmm.
everything is like for you know like not so elevated, you know, not so artistic. So
Hmm.
I think there is room for people to make really really cool things in 3D printing.
Yeah, like yeah, you have like all these like little trinkets. Like okay, cool. I can have like
Yeah,
Baby Yoda.
yeah. It's like, yeah, merchandising stuff.
Hmm.
It's like, okay, but we can go further, with this technology.
Yeah, like one of the more useful things that I printed. It took me a very long time to get it right, but like was a headphone stand. Like I was looking around like just for something super cheap, like even at IKEA, Amazon, what have you. Everything was like 20, 30, $40. I was like, man, I don't want to like spend all that money on it. And it took me a while, and the print didn't come out perfectly. There's still like some issues with it, especially in the back. The lines just aren't as clean, but like I eventually managed to make it, and I use it every day now. You know, to rest my headphones when I'm not using them. So there are a lot of uses to it, but I think it's one of those skills where if you have it in the future, it will pay off a lot more. It will become a lot more valuable as we begin to take things that are made in the digital space and make them in the physical space.
Yep. Yes.
Right on. So, this art style that you got into with your 3D design and everything, is it just something that you'd always gravitated towards when you were a kid growing up, or just something that you picked up as an adult?
The 3D printing stuff.
Well, the design, like, besides the 3D printing, like all of this stuff that you do in Blender and the animations and just the style that you have, is it because like as a kid you saw Toy Story and you were like, oh, I wanna make that one day, or how did it start for you?
I've been drawing my whole life. I remember using it for playing. I was living alone with my parents for 6 years, 6, 7 years, until my little sister was born, and my older sister that was in Cuba came to live with us. So I was I I transitioned from being alone and a one only kid in the
Mhm.
house to be the middle one with one smaller sister and a bigger one. And I used to play along a lot, and drawing was like playing for me. I always talk out loud when I was drawing, because I was drawing. I loved Dragon Ball when I was a kid.
Mhm.
All these series, and I used to play drawing like, oh, this guy is gonna kick his ass, and I draw the two guys fighting in the air, and everything. And and yeah, I've been drawing my whole life. I was actually going to study journalism
Mhm.
in university, but at the very last moment I changed it to this career, design and creative technologies, because it was a new degree. I am the second year of the degree, uh, the second promotion, and I went there. I like it a lot. I did a lot of design. I did some animation, color, comic, illustration, but a lot of design, branding, classical design stuff,
Mhm.
for companies and for stuff. And I didn't like how the degree pushed it, because the best teachers of the degree were designers, and they were a bit in control of the career. So everything was design focused, like illustration was like, okay, you can do illustration, but it will be focused for design campaigns, for
Advertising,
everything was,
marketing. Yeah.
yes, everything was towards being a designer in the future. When I was finishing my degree, I've been always, especially in university, because in my younger years I was always a good kid, like they tell me to do this and I did that. Like I've never moved away from the path. And but in university I was a bit rebel and a bit
Mhm.
against everything. So I was like, yeah, I want to do 3D, and everyone was like, stop it. it's too late to learn 3D. It's your last day, your last year of university. You have to focus on your, on your last subjects.
Mm-hmm.
The teachers of the subjects were like, "Why are you doing this in 3D? You can be doing this in Illustrator or whatever." And I was like, "I want to do it in 3D because I want to learn 3D, and I will use your subject to learn 3D also. Like I don't care about grades, about what do you think about me or whatever. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I want to do what I want to do, and I started doing 3D against everyone. Like my colleagues and everyone was telling me that it was too hard. You're not gonna make it. Like stop it already. So I'm a stubborn. I'm a stubborn person. When someone said to me like, "Hey, you're not gonna do that. You're not gonna make that," I will die for making that happen. Like I will put everything that I have to make that happen, just to prove it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my thing with 3D. But I come from, in my early years in my degree, I I got to know some illustrators and some people that just draw, and they came to our university to do some talks. And later, in the COVID year, before COVID started, I went to Italy, to Bologna, to study. It was one year of the degree that we do here in Europe, that we change university with another country.
Mm-hmm.
And I choose Bologna specifically because they have a super cool tradition of children illustration, which I completely love. I wish I could be a proper children illustrator, because uh, it's a bad paid job,
Mm-hmm.
but it's so cool to make things for little kids, and for them to enjoy it, and making it cool enough to for the parents too, and for everyone else. I love children illustration. I think that you can see that in my work all the time. It's really, you know uh, in that style of uh, getting the sensation of being for kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it definitely comes across in the style. It's very childlike. It's something that you would see in a book. Um, so that definitely comes through. Yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that it's not exactly a high paying degree. I mean, how many? There's not really a lot of like famous children books coming out. I mean, with us here in Canada, the most famous one is besides Dr. Seuss. There's another that I'm trying to think. Famous Canadian. Oh, Robert Munch. Yes, Robert Munch. I think is an American-born, yeah, Canadian children's book author. But if you look at his work, it's unlike anything that exists nowadays. I mean, I don't know of any famous names in the industry that are making children's illustrations. There's not really like any famous authors that come to mind. But I remember, yeah, when I was a kid in school, like a lot of these books would be read to us, or they would just be there in the library, and everybody loved them as kids.
Yeah, there is something special, and I love also the aesthetics of children books illustration, but I love using humor and comedy in my work too. Like I try to do it, but it's really hard with static illustration.
Hmm.
But I love one of my reference is Mafalda from Kino. Kino, it's Quino. It's an Argentinian author. He's dead by now, but his work of like classical newspaper illustration, is really fun, really intelligent. I like it a lot. So that's also another reference in my work. Things that I really enjoy, and I try to not imitate, but to get some of it into my work. This is a really famous cartoon in the in the Spanish talking community, like
Hmm.
all Latin America and Spain, Europe, is really cool. And not only Mafalda is like his main character, but he has like a lot of regular things. He talks a lot about politics and the state of the world and being old. Yeah, it's it's really it's really cool.
Yeah, his drawings remind me of Charlie Brown. Like
Yes,
it's kind of similar in that style.
yes.
Okay. So in the future, is that something that you're looking to pursue to do illustrations, like regardless of how little it pays or how less popular of a job it is?
And yeah, I have a love and hate relationship with my 2D work because it's hard for me to get it right or to get it to a point where I'm satisfied with the work. And I think I can reach that level of perfectionism or completionist with the 3D with my 3D work. So I would love to to be in peace with my 2D style and my 2D drawings because I have good ideas. I have a lot of sketches of things that I wanted to do, but yeah, I would love to make a children book illustrated book in 3D, for example, like really simple 3D, and that would be super fulfilling for me.
You could be the first children's author that makes a book that you can read in VR, and that's 3D.
I'm sure there is something that there is someone that has already made it, but it will be so cool to have something in AR, where you can, I don't know, watch it with a headset or a phone or whatever. But I don't know, but I would love to work on something like that.
Yeah, like when you open up the book, it like scans the QR code or whatever, and it shows the animating characters. Like that would be cool.
Yeah, yeah, you can do that right now, like without a QR code. I don't know. There are some apps for it, but if you show them a specific image, they can play something. They
Hmm.
can, extract the 3D model or whatever, and characters can talk to themselves, fight or whatever, and you can see everything with the AR app. So yeah, it's something that I could explore in the future.
Yeah, I mean, who knows where technology is going to go? It could be so that like you put up a projector on your ceiling, and regardless of where you are in the room, so long as it can see the book, it'll just like scan the light into the book and then show that like that kind of 3D hologram. I don't know what kind of technology would be involved in that, but that's probably where we're headed in the future. Because AR is it's kind of like the next landscape, and not a lot of people are like making apps for it. And right now it's very janky
Uh,
because it takes a lot of processing power and it's very slow, it's very robotic.
Adobe just closed their AR app called Aero,
Wow.
Adobe Aero. They closed it like 2 weeks ago, something like that. I am in the Discord, and people were like, "Well, I have I have a lot of products working with Adobe Aero. What is gonna happen? Where are you going? What are you guys doing with the API and all
Hmm.
the code and everything? Like you probably will have all your links broke if they close the app. So yeah, I when I saw that, I was like, well, the input that you get is that AR is dead and AR is dying or whatever. Like, if the biggest company doing something literally close the app because they are not getting enough users, I don't know.
Yeah, that's I don't understand why they would. I don't. I'm not sure why they would exactly do that or why they think that that's a good idea. I guess maybe like the maintenance, it's just they're allocating their resources towards other projects. They don't want people to work on this thing. It's not becoming as profitable. Because that, as we said, like the AR space, like it's a beautiful idea, but in terms of it being out in the world, like besides like maybe some art gallery that has a promotion, like there's no like restaurant or like, businesses that are making this. I mean, just thinking out loud, like this would be a great thing for restaurants to use. I mean, a lot of places that you go to now, they already have like instead of a paper menu, they have a QR code that you scan. And if you want to actually see the food and what it's like, it would be cool if you would be able to get a preview of it by like just showing your phone on the table, and then it shows you like this is what the portion would look
Yeah,
like, this is what the meat would look like, this is how all of that would look like even for something like a restaurant, it would be great. Or maybe even people that are going out to buy clothing, if they want to see how it fits on them, AR would be a great tool for that. Yeah, that's weird. That's very strange that Adobe is shutting all that down.
I really don't know. And it's horrible because for me, like I want to push VR and AR to the fucking limit. Like I
Mm-hmm.
need better headsets. I need better programs. So I would love to have more people involved with, but it seems at the end that people don't care about AR or VR. I think it's not super well integrated in phones, and we don't have uh, real uses for VR glasses, like
Mm.
AR glasses that you can use every day, and people can make content for that. Like the hardware part is really stuck and really not in a point where everyone can enjoy it. So I think we need to push the hardware part first before, and I think these companies have pushed the software part earlier than they should have done it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Facebook with Meta, with the metaverse and everything is like the metaverse can't be ugly. The metaverse can't be flat colors,
Mm-hmm.
boring spaces. It's like we need to push the hardware first. So we have like glasses that don't need any cable, that don't need 2 kilos of glasses in on your head.
Mm-hmm.
Like we need to push the being comfortable, being nice, and then you push the software part. But not you don't create a whole ecosystem without users and without proper ways to interact with it. You know?
Yeah, and also it's like I don't want to be always carrying like an iPad sized screen if I want to
Yeah.
engage in AR. Like who's gonna like who's really gonna do that? It's not a
Nobody,
it's not a
no,
realistic thing.
and in practical, when people come to the gallery or whatever, it's like 5 p.m. They are tired. It's hot outside. It's like you are going to start, like, oh, you need to download this app, and then you sign up with your Google account, and then
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
enter this your name, and then you can watch this. It's like nobody will do that. You have to make things easy for people. You can't complicate people because life already is complicated, is horrible, is disgusting, and if you want to introduce them to something new, it has to be easy, it has to be fun, it has to be cheap. Uh, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything because I'm just an artist. But being in the space and trying all these tools for years and everything, and seeing it's like nobody knows what they are doing. No, all
Hmm.
these companies are like, like no head chickens running around,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
stamping with each other. Like, but I think at some point in your adult life, you realize that most of things works like that. So yeah,
Yeah, no, I have faith though. I mean, I think that it's going to become a much bigger deal in the future. It might have just been like too early,
yes,
that people were latching onto it. I mean, the most successful like execution of it that I can think of would have been Pokemon Go. Right, when
yes,
it came out, everyone was so hype, and like it wasn't always working 100% of the time, but it got a lot of people out into the world. And there's a lot of controversy now because the company that initially started Pokemon Go, what they did was they actually took all that location data that people were mapping out, and they started to sell it off to companies that are either training robotics or just anything that's environmental, that needs like to map out an environment. They started selling off that data, and now that's what they're doing. Um, but if it can happen once, like with Pokemon Go, I'm certain it can happen again in the future, especially when we get into like AI assistants. People are going to want to be able to see something physical, when they're talking to an AI. They don't want to just hear a voice, or wear a headset all the time. They would like to have like an assistant that, follows them around or what have you the whole day. So I think it's going
yeah.
to come back, and the metaverse might too. They might have just been too early in the time. Interesting. And so, with your schooling now, um, do you think that you would want to start advocating and like pushing more for teaching like 3D design and 3D visual design and whatnot? Is that something that you want to do? Because you mentioned that that's a frustration that you had going into this, that everyone told you don't do it, and all the people that were teaching you were architects and engineers. Do you think that you would want to make an effort to create like some kind of a curriculum around that?
I would love to because when I did my internship time for my master degree in my art school, I I I found a 3D class, a 3D subject,
Mm-hmm.
Blender. It was Blender, and the person that they put to give that class had never used Blender. He was an
Wow.
engineer, and he has never teach or use Blender, and that was the Blender teacher. The system is so dumb, and it's not the fault of the person because he he's doing just a job because
Mm.
he got called, like, hey, you have to go to this island, you have to move away from your family, find a place, everything, and you have to start teaching something that you have never done,
Mhm.
you have never touched. And he was asking me a lot of stuff, because I was doing a bit of the classes, and he was asking me for resources, for tutorials, for things. But it's like crazy that you have a person, you are paying a person, someone, a professional engineer, to watch tutorials, to then show that tutorial work to 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 young people
Mhm.
studying a program. So I would love to be in the Blender class and teach Blender like to people. Like, but it, it it could be a problem that my degree is not a technical one. It's a mixed one because I did coding also. I did web design and everything, but I'm not an engineer. I did my degree in the fine art part of the university
Mhm.
alongside the fine art students. So it could be a moment where the system read my degree, read my, everything I've done, and they say the machine or whatever, or the person that assign people will say this guy is not suitable because he's not an engineer, for example.
Mm.
And probably I will never teach Blender in the public system because I'm not and I can do crazy things in Blender, but I'm not a Blender expertise in the eyes of a random government worker. Like,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
oh, but this is not a technical profile. So you are out of the equation. So I will teach drawing, artistic drawing, technical drawing. I don't know. Yeah,
I
what,
see.
what I can, what they
Okay.
let me, what they let me do.
Do you,
But it's
do you-
crazy. Like I could be assigned, for example, to do pottery, to be the pottery teacher because I have an art degree
mhm.
and I know shit about pottery. And I can be the Blender teacher, like watching tutorials on pottery to teach pottery. It's so dumb. Like, what? You have teachers, inside the same school that can, if you move this guy to here and this guy here, they can do whatever they know how to do. But no, 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 no. The system said this, and everything in Spain works like this. It's horrible.
All you have to do to learn pottery is just watch the movie Ghost. Do you know that movie? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
The,
yeah.
the
That's right. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's all you have to do. Just watch the movie Ghost, and that's it. You got a tutorial in pottery.
oh man.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. So, do you think as a result of that, I mean, what's stopping you from eventually, like down the line in your career, to open up a private practice, to just open up like tutorials for people to come in person and learn this stuff? Like, how cool would it be if you were able to have a class of, let's say, like 10, maybe 15 people? Everybody has their own VR headsets, and you teach them how to model in Blender in a 3D space like that. Do you think that that's something that would interest you? Because I know right now, like, you're stuck in the public education system, and all this time that you've spent building this up and getting the credentials and everything. But at a certain point in your career, do you think that that's something that you would ever entertain?
100%. Like, if I work in the public system, is because I need to work.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't like. I love teaching. That's something that I discovered doing the internship. Like I spent when you are a teacher, you have like one day you give two classes, 2 hours, and then the rest of the time you have to do paperwork
Mm-hmm.
and be outside to look for people and everything. But my internship I did the 6 hours with each subject. I was changing teachers, changing subjects to see everything, to try to see all the classes, how teachers works. Try to help them also with support and my small knowledge. Experience in the real field. With clients and everything, and I loved it. Like I really, really like it, and I enjoyed it the most when they were younger, like 17, 16.
Mm-hmm.
They are starting the bachelor in art, in plastic art, and I loved that class because they were super impressionable.
Yeah,
I don't know how to say
impressionable. Yeah,
that.
you could.
Yeah,
They were flexible. They were mentally flexible.
yes,
Yeah.
it was so cool, so cool to show them something. Hey, I did this, and they are wow. With other people
Mm-hmm.
in other types of education higher, people are like, "Well, okay,
Cool.
and you can't make it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They are
Yeah.
like, cool. I have to go to get my kid later. Like they don't
Mm-hmm.
care about. But with younger people, it was so fun. Like you can make jokes, you can be more. You have to
Informal.
be more active.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, but you have to be more. more active, because if not, they pass you. You know, like
Yeah, you
they
have to
are.
be entertaining.
Yes, yes, but I really enjoy it. So a private thing would be perfect. In my island, it's impossible. In my island, everything are related. Uh, is really really hard if you don't work the for public institutions. You know,
For government, yeah.
yeah, local governments and smaller governments that we have here in each part of the island. If you find, if you have a friend in one of those and they can give you regular work or
Hmm.
workshops, they pay you for workshops or whatever, that's okay. But selling your art, or even selling uh, a course or a workshop like that here in Lanzarote, I think it would be really hard, really hard to make it work because of a lot of things. But there is no. We live a lot of from tourists, so
Hmm.
maybe you can do something with that. With digital nomads also, something interesting with them. But it's really hard here in because it's. I remember I went to a co-working experience.
Hmm.
They were opening a co-working place and they invite me to be there, just to make was like an opening day. All the institutions came and
Yep.
everything, and I was doing VR there. And one guy came to me. He was one of the someone from an institution, and he looked at my art because I had like a good TV
Hmm.
behind me, and there was some pieces there showing off, and he was like, what is this for? Why did you make this?" And I was like, "Because I love it. It's my own work. I had an idea and I made the piece, and that's it.
Hmm.
I sell that work." And he couldn't understand it. Like, he was like,
who
"Yeah, yeah,
who paid for
but
this? Who made you do this? Who
yeah,
who
yeah,
told you to do
yeah,
this?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But what do you use? What do you use this for? Like, is this for a company? Is this for a? No, no. This is personal work. This is what I do. Yeah, yeah. But I don't. I. He was like, it was like a really strange interaction. Like,
Yeah.
what
What is
else
the
do you want?
utility? What is the utility?
Yeah.
What is the usefulness? Yeah.
So that's the mindset here. Is
Mm. Mm.
unless you are like, I don't know how to say, when you make portraits, for example, like realistic portraits of your aunt, of your grandma,
Mm.
people will see that and say like, "Oh my God, how much work! That's beautiful,"
Hmm.
because it's hard. Nobody it's like a photo. You paint like a photo. All this stuff is what people enjoy. But when you when you go away from that, you are on your own. And for me, it's really. Uh, I feel really bad because the island is really artistic, and we had like one of the best Spanish artists was born here, which is Cesar Manrique. And Cesar is literally an institution in the island. Like, all the island is designed by him, and his work is insane. It's like Picasso. He was an architect, an artist. He was in New York with Warhol, with Dali.
Hmm.
Like, he was really really cool, and he was really artistic also, like abstract. Like, and people respect his work, but outside of him, they don't respect anyone else.
Because he's been there's a saying here, he's been grandfathered in. He's been accepted over time by so many people that regardless of how crazy his art is, he's part of the culture now. He's made his impact, so people will always saying that. And the same thing
Yeah,
for like Salvador Dali. Like everyone, like loves looking at
yes.
his work, but the moment that anyone comes out with anything that's resembling it or close to it or anything similar to it, they're like that looks crazy. Why are you wasting your time on this? What are you doing?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And also he died pretty young. So he became like a symbol
Mm.
for the island and for the the preservation of the island,
Mm-hmm.
trying to not transform the island into a tourist amusement park.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, it's a really hard situation because the institutions ate his persona,
Mm-hmm.
and his art is now the art of the institutions.
Mm.
So it's really Machiavellic. They
Yeah,
use
yeah.
his work for things that maybe he wouldn't accept, when he was alive.
Yeah, they're living off his
But yeah,
legacy.
exactly.
I see. Okay. Yeah, no, in that environment I can see why it would be difficult for any independent creators to kind of come about. Um I had an interview yesterday or the day before where I talked with an artist that he basically said the same thing where like creative people, creatives are typically unstable mentally. They change their personality every couple of years. They have very, very wild ideas, and a lot of them are either not socially acceptable or they don't fit within like the structure and the guidelines of the culture and the society that they live in. But even with that, these people like they have to exist. We need those people. We need those people as much as we need engineers. We need those people as much as we need plumbers and chefs and teachers and presidents and all that because they're the ones that actually they push the boundaries of culture. They introduce us to new ideas and things that were not possible before but are now because they've created it. And yeah, it seems as though in living in 2025, it's not that those people don't exist, and it's not that those people don't like make money. I mean, like Kanye West is like the biggest example of it. Absolutely like crazy out of his mind, with like all the political stuff that he's into now. But you look back on his albums in like the 2000s, the early 2010s, and they're legendary. People still listen to them to this day. Um, but it doesn't feel like in 2025 that there's an adequate like environment of respect and appreciation for those kind of people. I mean, it's as you said, like I don't it's crazy to me to think that that's how your education system works like where you are now. They plug people in wherever they can fit just based on their credentials and there's no like consideration for the tools that they need to use, the software that they have to know. I mean, I we even had it here like in Canada on a very like smaller scale. When I went to university, one of my professors just didn't know how to use PowerPoint. Like had no clue how to use it. She was always just writing on the chalkboard or writing like handwritten notes and all that. And the university they were like, "Look, you need to adapt. You need to learn this new technology." And they told her like the summer before the next term that she had to do it. I come into her class in September and for the entire semester, for 4 months, we had to walk her through how to use PowerPoint for the first 20 minutes of class. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, you're getting paid like 100,000 whatever like dollars a year to do this. Like there's no excuse. There's like this is ridiculous. It's weird how there's all these like standards and structures that are alive to this day and they prevent so much creative output from being formed.
It's horrible, especially in art education.
Mhm.
Like, and in an art context that we were lucky. We are lucky because the art academy here, there is only one, and uh, you have to do your bachelor there for
Mhm.
2 years, bachillerato, and then you can go to a FP, which is like professional formation for 2 years, or university. But you can do professional formation in illustration, ceramic, jewelry, there in the art academy. And the art academy has a philosophy of open gates. People can come into the academy and go out whenever they want. You can you can don't go to the class if you want. Like it's not mandatory to
Hmm.
go to classes, but it's mandatory to go to a certain number of classes to get the the numbers. But it's such a cool environment, and still because of bureaucracy and the higher thing in Canary Island with education, you have to check certain things
Hmm.
that literally you talk to the teachers, and the teachers are not relaxed and they don't care, and they suffer. Like they have to do a shit ton of paperwork. Instead of teaching, they have to do like 2 hours of teaching and 7 hours of writing things, writing in forms and things for higher things to see what they are doing and to see, like it's really fucking dumb. And it's when you go there, when you talk to them, and when you experience that, it's like this makes no sense. And everyone else is like, yeah, we know, we've been doing the same for 20 years. uh, we don't know how to change it. It's impossible, because if you talk too much, it's what it is. It's really bad. Especially I would have probably not kill myself in a you know but theoretically I saw I share my place with people that were studying in Valencia where I studied,
Hmm.
engineer, like really hard degrees. Like my degree wasn't, it was super easy, but you had to work a lot, but everyone passes. Like you don't have a problem with, we didn't have exams or whatever.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing people like studying for days, doing thesis for months, for years, like really struggling with that, and I wouldn't survive that. I know from the bottom of my chest that I'm not the type of person. Like I can suffer for certain things, and I can do happily, but for other stuff, when I start to suffer, I have to quit really fast. So I don't know how I would fit in that teaching environment. Of yeah, the teaching is great. The people, young people are always really nice. Even because the gates are open, and if you are bad and want to do bad things, you will go out. Like you will never stay in the class because you have to stay, so you make everyone else a problem. No, no. If you want to smoke, you go to smoke, and you don't bother anyone else. So
Yeah.
uh, but the part of being a teacher, the other part for me is it will be really hard, I think, because I'm not used to be like that. Like it's really bad. It's really bad. I remember talking to teachers like, hey, this is this is actually horrible. Like I remember in right now, because they change, because every 4 years when they do election, and we have a bi-party game here in Spain, like for so long. We have the right and the wing.
Hmm.
When the right enter, they quit all the educational laws that the left did, so they redact a new law.
Hmm.
So all the teachers have to renew everything and change everything. So when the left wing, the left right bipartisan thing wing, they remove everything from the right, so everything has to be done again. That's why we have changed names of our scholar years. We have
Hmm.
changed names like a lot since the 80s or the 90s, because every time a new party enter, they change everything. So you have to be making everything from the scratch every time. Like it's it's really dumb. And yeah, I don't know what the solution would be for real.
Yeah, I mean, I think like going back to the point of private education, I think that's going to become a much more important system in the future. Just because, as you said, that like who's teaching 3D printing? Who's teaching 3D modeling? Who's teaching VR or AR or any of this stuff? It's all done on your own time. It's all done as a hobby. You know, when you get home from work, there's not really any kind of like pathway where you have that. I don't know of any education system in the world that is pioneering this or is the first to create this tech. Like, okay, maybe like here in North America, we have some degrees that you can get in like video game design that are kind of similar and they allow you to have that. But like if I wanted to just like take a course in Blender, there's not really like an institution that is well known for having that, even for like online classes that I know of. So I think really like all this focus on credentials and degrees. I think once the next generation dies off, the generation that's older than us, all of that is going to become a lot less relevant, and then it's going to be more focus on your skill. Just because you know, as you said, the education system they can't keep up. They got to make changes every time, whether it's for politics or because of funding or because of you know their own problems within their own system. They're not adapting to the needs of the world in an effective way. You know, like it's very strange to me that back when you know when I was in school in like the 2010s when I was in high school, nobody was talking about media literacy or social media or how to navigate the world or how to properly use like a search engine. You know, we had like maybe some basic classes in that. It's like, oh, here's how you Google. Here's, you know, how you can find like good information. But realistically, I learned all that in my own experience. I get frustrated with what, you know, Google's putting out to me. Then I'm like, okay, well, how can I go about getting the information that I'm looking for better? And now that AI has landed on the scene, all of that I learned before is irrelevant. Now I can just use AI as a search engine, no problem. Um, so yeah, it doesn't surprise me that it's very frustrating in your part of the world with how um, not uncoordinated, but it doesn't the needs of the society are not being met by the education system that's meant to be bringing them up, and there's this like really big just like disconnect between what actually needs to happen and what is happening.
But
That I think private
even e-
education might be able to help that.
e- even even in the universities, we have public. My degree was in a public university. That w- that was why I took it, because it was really innovative. Because usually you don't have new degrees, like that
Hmm.
in public universities, and we only have to pay like 1,000 euros for a year. So it was like 4 years. So it's it's really nice, because it's not free, because your parents are paying for it
Hmm.
with the tax. But yeah, you not in my degree, because we had a lot of teachers that were teaching. There is something in Spain that is really disgusting, that uh, people at universities, they earn less money teaching than in high school or in schools.
Wow.
Uh, and you have some people going for a specific number of classes. You have a professional that the university hire, but it's always the professional doing a lot of effort, because they pay you like 400 bucks, 400 euros a month, for doing like 3 classes a week or something like that, but really extensive, like really big classes. That, yeah, when you know how much they are paying the teacher, you empathize a lot with
Hmm.
him or her. I remember we had a super cool teacher in design and pattern, and she was a huge, like, person outside, professionally speaking,
Hmm.
and she was getting paid like 400 euros for doing a lot of work. And it's like, obviously, she's not doing this for the money.
Yeah.
Like, she's doing this because she wants to teach us, like to give real life information, and it's crazy, like to have people in the universities teaching deep stuff and
Hmm.
complicated stuff, sometimes with professional backgrounds, earning like 15,000 or something like that. Like it's insane. And they have to share a house, because they,
Yeah.
they can't afford to live on their own. Like yeah. It's we have a we live well here. We have a lot of things, really good things in Spain, but there are some certain things that are really messed up, and yeah, it doesn't make sense.
No, that sounds about what I would have expected, because a lot of people, they have this expectation that, oh, Europe, like, the education is free, it must be amazing to not have to worry about the debt, but there's a cost. Somebody has to pay that cost.
And I had like good teachers, bad teachers. I had like, I would say 80% good teachers, 20% bad teachers.
Hmm.
Usually, the normal thing is to have like a an elder man of 200 years ago, 200 years, sorry, 200 years old,
Hmm.
that he is earning a lot of money. He's, forever there because he
Yeah,
can't be fired.
he has tenure. Yeah.
And he has like yellow pages where he explain everything, like he explained it 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Like that's the normal thing to have, and they don't know your name. This is just a number. It's like 74. He's not here.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about what you feel and what you think. Oh my god! Like what we studied with teachers that I can write them right now and talk to them. They knew my name. We hung out later, and we had beers with them
Hmm.
after we finished. All of that is so rare. It's like no, it don't happen anywhere. Like the normal thing is that you have an awful teacher that you don't get any idea of what he's teaching. You suffer a lot and you struggle a lot with the degree. What we have was a kindergarten experience.
Yeah.
Like the regular thing is to suffer a lot.
No, that sounds about right. I mean, even in my time in university here in Canada, there's maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 professors that I can remember that were actually quality, and they cared for what they did, and they weren't getting paid millions, but they were getting paid enough to have a decent apartment. But even then, like, still, the a lot of the experiences that you're sharing here, they're very similar to what we have then. I mean, especially in like maths and sciences, yeah, you're just a number. You're in an auditorium with a couple hundred people. Nobody cares about you. Nobody, like, you don't have a chance to just raise your hand. Like, they're not even going to see you. They don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even in like the liberal arts programs, like, I studied a little bit of history. I remember we had this one professor who had he got changed to a different professor at the last second, and the one that we had now, he was a PhD student, so not even like a full professor yet. He's just getting his teaching hours. He had a class with us at 7 at night until 10, and then he had to drive to Montreal, which was like a, I don't know, 4 or 5 hour drive from Ottawa, which is where I went to school. Um, and so he would finish our class and then immediately run to his car, because he would have to get there, get like a couple hours of sleep, and then do his class there. And we're all just sitting in the class. I'm like, dude, I'm paying like $3,000 for this one semester, 7,000 for the whole year, and this guy is expected to teach this class and go back and forth between the two cities. It's just, it was madness. It was crazy. I hated it. I hated it. In fact, I wanted to be a teacher, going into university. And then when I saw what they were going through, and what I saw what my high school teachers were going through, I was like, yeah, no, 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 no. I'm not doing that because I know that like 2 years into it, I'm gonna quit, and all of that time would have been wasted. I'm not even no. I'm not gonna bother. I don't hate myself that much. I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I I think there is something different going on, in the north countries of Europe,
Hmm.
Denmark, Sweden, Finland, because they have way better education systems because it's more free, like
They don't have siestas.
you can
That's
do.
the difference. They don't
No,
have a
I
time in the middle of the day when everyone is just relaxing.
I wish I wish they had siestas because it would be easier for us to integrate there,
Yeah,
but
yeah, that's right.
they
That's right.
they are like more, even though we are more relaxed, it's like they are more relaxed but caring.
Hmm.
Like we are relaxed because we don't care. uh, um, they are relaxed and they care. That's why they are relaxed. Like they let the small children grow up freely. Like
Hmm.
they do what they feel they are doing this day. This day, it's another type of education, more Montessori, more different from the classical systems of you have to be 8 hours, six
Hmm.
hours,
Hmm.
sit down with a book, and there are so many kids that goes out of the system because they can't fit in that square. Like
Yep. Yep.
not everyone has to be like. In Spain, we have this problem also. Like we have too many university degrees people. Like we need more plumbers. We need more. It's like that's why the people that know manual jobs
Hmm.
emigrate to Germany, to Holland, to all these countries because they have the same problem, but they pay way better than Spain. So they take all our force, like carpenters, plumbers, people that you can't, live without.
Hmm. Hmm.
So we have a population, and they broke a bit our, the social pact that they talk all the time, where we had this idea since we are children that
Go
if
to
you study
school. You
hard,
got a job. You got a house. You got a family. Yep. Yep.
and at the end we are seeing that we will never have had a house because the prices are impossible.
Hmm.
The salaries are okay if you rent a room with 5 people in a city, and uh, yeah, it's impossible to form a family, to have children.
Hmm.
It's like you have destroyed several generations of young people that I think it will be pretty bad in the future. Like because we are, I think Spain, for example, is like Japan. We have more. We are having more deaths than borns. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Low birth
children.
rate. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So, and we are a pretty um, old country, in terms of the age
Oh
of
yeah.
people,
Yeah.
and we will be getting because the expectancy of life is getting longer,
Hmm.
and you can live really. You can live well in Spain with the food and the climate, the weather and everything. So we will reach a point where we have too many elder people and not so many people working, making money to pay for the pensions of that
Hmm.
many old people. So I don't know what will happen at the end, but I'm pretty sure that I will never, even if I work the 30 years that you need to work for the income, for
Hmm.
the
The pension.
elderly
Yep.
income, the pension. I know for sure that I will never. get any pension of any kind. I have to save on my own because there is already we are already almost in the limit, of uh, the government earning money from everyone working,
Hmm.
and the money they spend on older people. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's a similar situation here. Canada decided to immigrate millions of people, which is having its own problems too. But
Yeah,
it's not a permanent solution. You can't you can't have generations of people that are unable to have basic things like a house like they used to have 10, 20, 30, 40, however many years ago. It's just it's not sustainable, which is like why I'm coming around to the idea that whatever it is that you do with your life, you have to exist outside of like the system as it's known in some way that you can. If it means that you have to buy Bitcoin, then you buy Bitcoin. If that means that you have art that you sell, or a service that you provide, or a business that you own that is not reliant on a government or another company paying you, anything that you own yourself, I feel like that's really the only way that anybody our age or even younger is going to be able to uh, have any kind of comfortable life by the time that you get into 60, 70, 80 years old. That's why like I love the time that we're in right now, because even with all these problems, like it has never been better to be a creator in anything, whether it's 3D printing, design, music, any kind of thing. There's never been an easier time for someone to get started in that. And I think that that's really the only way. I mean, look, we can't have like millions of artists, because someone's got to pay for the art at the end of the day. Someone's actually got to buy it. We can't just have artists working at coffee shops all the time. We need something different. But no, I have faith. I think we're only just seeing the beginnings of it, of that old system breaking apart and something new coming in to replace it. So because we're in this transition, it's very ugly, it's very dirty. We don't know what we're doing. We're making it up as we go along. There's no guide. Nobody taught us how to do this. All the wisdom our parents passed down to us, it's not useless, but
Y-
it's not as applicable. We can't apply it to our daily life as much as it was for them. So I think it's just because we're in that stage now where we don't know what to do, and
yeah,
we're gonna figure it out. I have faith.
yeah. Me too. Me too. I It's one of the things I like about myself. Uh, I I dislike a lot of things, but one of the things I like is that I tend to trust myself a lot, and like whatever it be, it will be. Like
Hmm.
I'm really sure that I work well in any position. Like I don't care working, having another job, doing another thing. Like I'm really uh, I don't want to say I don't want to say stoic because I'm not under a mine,
Hmm.
mining coal or something like that. But I can do whatever I need to survive, and I can move. I can, you know, I I I I believe in myself and I trust myself in that in uncertainty and that journey that is gonna be like you said. It's gonna be rough and strange for the next years, but uh, yeah, I like the image I have of myself. Like
Yeah, being capable, being self reliant, because that's yeah,
yeah,
that's the only way forward in the future. That's really the only thing. We can't have the same expectations that our parents did or the people before us. There's too many new things happening all at once around the world that it's just so hard to predict. So whatever it is that anyone does, but being self-reliant in that way, that's really the only way to, I don't know, have any stability in the future and whatever it means. So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. It's great that we're able to have this conversation here, and you're not stuck in some room doing, like grading tests or, teaching classical
Yes.
fine art and all that, and that you have this. So I mean, without all that, I wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's right. Well, listen. So we're at 2 hours now. Um, I don't know if you wanted to close off, or you had any other final things that you wanted to talk about here.
No. I wanted to thank you for having me, for thinking about me, for the interview. I love talking. I love talking about anything. So yeah, whenever you guys want to do anything else, I'm open. I'm open to it.
Right on. Yeah, no, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate you making the time. And in terms of socials, everyone can find you at Sankalibrado on Twitter, and then I'm guessing Instagram and everything is same name.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, yeah, we'll post that in the description of the video. Go ahead and check out his stuff, guys. I'm guessing you sell, because I saw you sell it as NFTs as well, right?
Yes. I I am in Malo. I am in Exchange Art. In OBJ also. Yes. You can check my work. That's some of my old work. Some of those are class assignments
Mm-hmm.
for the illustration class, and because that's what I had at the time for selling, because I didn't have any body of work. I remember people coming to into the space and started selling like old works that they made, since forever. But those were like, okay, I do this and I mint it. I do this and I mint it. So that's how I started. That's my very first NFT, the cowboy one, the neon cowboy is my first my first NFT in pesos.
Nice. That's awesome. So yeah, guys, go check out his stuff. Buy a piece if you can. Support your artists. And yeah, thank you again for making the time. It's been a pleasure. Would love to have you on in the future. I'm excited to see what you make with the combination of VR and 3D printing. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, thank you for making the time. I appreciate everyone tuning in. And yeah, we'll see you guys later.
Thank you. Bye.